Hi, Coach John here, and welcome back to my series on how to kill the giants standing in your way of success. In our last coaching session, I laid out the battle plan to effectively fight against the laziness giant that's in your life. And if you missed it and you're thinking, hey, I'm not lazy, that can't possibly apply to me. Well, I'm telling you, with love, that the laziness giant attacks everyone, including you. And during that training session, I go over in detail how to recognize him and kill him where he stands. So make sure you go back and watch it. And so far, we've revealed three giants. And these are three giants that are currently working in your life to stop you from being successful. And we have two more giants left to battle. And today, we're going to battle the giant that's been wreaking havoc on your eyesight, your farsightedness, or your ability to see into the future to be more accurate. This giant aims for your eyes and causes you to regret where you are and the decisions that you've made. And because this giant works at removing your ability to see into the future, you end up stumbling through life, going from one place to the next, never really getting focused. This giant fights so effectively that when he wins a battle, other people recognize it. They might even begin to label you as being flaky or indecisive or selfish. This giant loves to make you second guess the decisions in your life so that you never have peace and you end up zigzagging through life. This is the giant of double-mindedness. Now, I realize it's very likely that you've never heard the term double-mindedness. And that's because this giant has been successful at getting society to believe that it's okay to forego or change commitments and chase our feelings no matter where they lead. Now, we're going to delve a little deeper into how much we should really trust our feelings in just a bit. But first, let's discuss the ways to recognize this giant. So I recently spoke to a friend of mine who was on cloud nine. He's got a new relationship that he's developed in his life, and he's in love, and he's telling me with absolute confidence that this woman was the one. He's even telling me how much she was on the same page and how they were discussing getting married. They'd only been dating a little while, but he was on cloud nine. And I'm really happy for my friend. I've known him for a long time. I didn't question his feelings because he's got great character. He's really a smart guy. He's always displayed great wisdom the whole time I've known him. So about 30 days go by, and we get to talk again, and the first thing I asked him was, hey, how's the relationship going? And he looks at me with embarrassment all over his face, and he just kind of shakes his head back and forth, and he says, I just changed my mind about her. I changed my mind? Really? How do you go from talking about getting married to changing your mind in 30 days? I mean, ouch. Well, I've been there, and I don't doubt that you can relate as well. This story is a perfect example of double-mindedness. You see, I fully believe my friend, he believed his own feelings and intentions for the woman he was claiming was the one. And I don't believe he lied to her about his plans for their life together. But the double-mindedness giant comes into our heads, came into his head, and causes us to not be able to see properly how close we are to our goals, realizing what we really want, and whether or not we should make major moves. And he makes us think that if this is good, then there are most likely better options available. And so we forego the focus and commitments and promises, and we selfishly look elsewhere. The sad thing is that most people go about life zigzagging from place to place in their relationships and careers, and they're always searching for greener pastures, only to realize that they've been led into the desert. The grass isn't greener on the other side of the fence, and in addition, because you were chasing something else, you've lost time making your original patch of grass as green as it can be. And when that realization finally comes into clarity, usually it's too late. It's all a lost effort. One of my favorite laws of business is that success follows the diligent. This means that no matter what you're doing, if you stay at it long enough, you're going to be successful. And this isn't just my opinion. This is a fact. If you're starting a business in sandwich making and you stay at it long enough, you'll develop your craft. You'll develop your niche, your space where you are the best, and the public will also begin to recognize you as the best sandwich shop in town. Why do you think businesses proudly display the number of years they've been established? It's to say, hey, we've been at this for a long time. We've never quit, and we've learned how to be the best. Pretty cool, right? Now, this reality of becoming recognized as the best in what you do and offer, it will never happen if you let the double-mindedness giant lead in your life. Without focus, you can never be the best. Now, I ask my clients all the time what they can do, where they can be a 9 or a 10 on a 1 to 10 scale. And this is where you are at your best. 9s and 10s command the market. An 8's pretty good, but has some gaps. And a 7, well, that's just average. And if you're just average, you'll have to fight and claw with the competition every day. Laser focus in on what you do best. So how do you know if you're being blinded by double-mindedness, by lack of focus? Well, that's a tough question. Remember, the double-mindedness giant attacks your vision, so your own ability to see the big picture comes kind of blurry, kind of skewed and hazy. In many cases, it can be nearly impossible to accurately fight this giant on your own. Now, I don't tell you this to discourage you, but to encourage you to always have at least one trusted advisor in your corner that you can seek counsel from before making big changes to your business and relationships. In all my years as a business coach, I've lost count of how many men and women I've counseled to stay focused. And when they fail to stay focused, they literally avoid success. They avoid it because they jump from one shiny object to another shiny object, never getting good enough to be the best and command the market. They try adding new offers that take them away from their core branding. They spend money on expensive and unproven marketing strategies. They take on side gigs, dividing their time, attention, and focus away from their real business. They sign up with every so-called expert they see online who promises them the world. See where I'm going? See where I'm going with this? I think the double-mindedness giant preys on our human instincts of being impatient. It is said that this generation is a microwave generation. But true success happens in a slow and deliberate crock pot. Now, I love crock pot cooking. It's slow and it's simple. It's a great dinner. It's world class. It doesn't take a lot of work. It's slow and steady. The turtle. If you have a history of shifting, moving, and changing your path often, then it's likely the double-mindedness giant has been ruling your life. So let's change that right now. Here are the 3 steps to killing the double-mindedness giant. Step number 1 is to identify the areas that you feel that you want to change. At any given time, you may feel restless. You want to change where you are. It could be in your relationship, your work, or even your physical location. Whatever and whenever it happens to be, you just have to isolate the feeling. And don't begin to weigh the pros and cons of making a change at this stage, because this will further lead you to making poor decisions. It's too early. Instead, just identify your feelings. And once you feel like you've done this, it's time for step number 2, which is trust the facts and not your feelings. You see, our feelings deceive us. They're like the wind. They change completely from one direction to the other without warning. And many times people's lives are wrecked because they decided to follow their feelings instead of the facts. Now, I can guarantee you that if most of your decisions are made from your feelings, from emotions, you will live a life full of challenge. Now, does this mean that your feelings are not valid? Yeah, of course not. Your feelings are important and they should always be evaluated, but you should never take actions based on feelings without first weighing them against the facts. So in the area that you've isolated as something that you're restless about, something you're thinking about changing, make a list of all the facts about the situation and only write down the facts and ignore any feelings like boredom or being unfulfilled. And find the blessings in that area. Blessings in this case is where you are excellent, where you have been blessed with excellent skill and talent. Think and imagine what you have to lose by making this change. Think about how it will impact your life and that of your family. And this process will begin to disarm the double-mindedness giant. Now, step number 3 is to consult wise counsel. More valuable than gold is having a wise counselor that you can consult with. And I want you to commit right now, right now, that you will never make an important decision before receiving wise counsel from someone that you trust. When battling this particular giant, you will never be able to make the best decision on your own because he attacks your ability to see the future. He sees the impact of your decisions and makes it fuzzy. So you have to have someone on the outside that can look at your situation and goals objectively and help you with the best way to kill them. And if you don't know anyone right now who fits that description, you can always schedule a free call with me. Just click on the link above. That's what the complimentary session is for. Reach out and ask questions. It's totally complimentary, so get out of your own head. And finally, step number 4 is to discuss your decision with everyone that it might impact. Now, if you're thinking these steps will slow down your decision making, hey, you caught on to exactly what I was hoping for. As a business coach, it's my job to help people do what they do to the best of their ability, fully leveraging their strengths. Chances are that you are already working in something where you have a talent, because we're naturally drawn to areas where we perform well. Unfortunately, no one area is 100% nirvana, and it's the little non-fun things that can trip us up and make us want to change. But to be the best and compensated for it is a better, far more effective, shorter path to success than completely changing careers. Now, of course, this is just an example, and what you're dealing with might be different, but the impact of the double-mindedness giant ends up the same. A lack of focus simply slows down progress, and it might kill it altogether. And this is why this is one of the major giants that I'm addressing in this series. So I hope this training has been valuable to you, and it will help you to kill the double-mindedness giant that's present in your life. We all have to deal with it every day. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to meet and talk with you. Scroll down, leave a comment, let me know how you feel about this video. Thank you for spending this coaching session with me, and I look forward to killing the next giant with you in the next session. You know, in the game of chess, when you make the right moves, you win the game. In the game of business, when you make the right moves, winning gets a lot easier.